Hi, it's excuse me. Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2018 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers, and thank you for all your continued like, share, subscribe, support, feedback, and comments. And for those of you who so faithfully follow my YouTube channel. It's an honor. Thank you so much. And always a special thank you to all of my clients out there, both my regular and my new clients as well, for continuing to keep me so busy and joyfully occupied with personal readings. If any of you are interested in scheduling a personal reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the little About button for more information and contact details. My contact info is also attached to the description of all the videos I post. Turnaround time for personal readings is pretty fast since it is exclusively what I do. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. So turnaround time can be anywhere from a few days when I sometimes get reschedules or cancellations, upwards of a couple of weeks, but almost always within a couple of weeks or so, we can schedule a reading for you live or recorded. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, including specific love and compatibility charts for specific relationships, and also 6 and 12-month overviews, which look at all the energies coming in all the main areas of your life for a 6 or 12-month period of time, depending on how far out you want to look. You can do the overviews anytime during the year, but they always are more popular at the beginning, the end of years, and beginning of the year, as people kind of want to take a look at the year ahead. So check those out if you're interested. For those of you who are not looking for the longer, more traditional, in-depth, complex readings, maybe you just have a quick question or two. You need to make a decision really quickly and you want to connect with me for a quick, very short little reading. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instant Go. To connect with me anywhere from immediately to quite quickly, assuming I'm not asleep or otherwise occupied, of course. You can choose the one question, one answer option, or you can open it up for a little reading via text, and they also have a video chat option as well. Pretty technologically cool world we live in now, so you can connect with me pretty quickly on Instant Go if you're not looking for the, the more traditional intensive readings. So check that all out if you're interested. All right, let's get into this. This is for the air sign of Libra for the month of February 2018. These are general readings. There's a lot of you watching. It's going to resonate differently for everyone watching. So try to make sure to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well if you know them for additional clarification. So let's see what's coming in for Libra for February 2018. What are the energies coming in for Libra for February 2018? Forgive me if I sound a little raspy and hoarse. I'm at the tail end of a very bad cold bronchial flu thing, kind of swept through my family. It's kind of rampant right now. Half the people I know are down with some version of it. I'm recovered. It's just my voice is still kind of squeaky and coming back, so forgive me if I sound like a frog. Okay, Libra, let's see what's in store for you for February. We begin with the Nine of Pentacles, followed by the Three of Wands. We have the Three of Swords, followed by the King of Wands. We have the Ace of Cups, followed by the Eight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords, followed by the Knight of Wands. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance is the Ace of Wands. I'm going to pull one more overall energy and guidance, the Eight of Wands. You have the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Wands for overall focus, energy, and theme for February, which speaks of exciting new beginnings and very passionate communication about those new beginnings. Because Wands is governed by fire. Let's take a look at your elemental energy. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wand cards, 3 swords. Wait a minute, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from the suit of wands, 3 cards from the suit of swords, 1 pentacles, and 1 cup. But you have 2 aces too. Aces represent the number 1. So they always represent new starts, new beginnings, new opportunities, being at the beginning of a new path. So you have emotional new beginnings, which can also represent new love and romance for some of you, or your heart opening up, perhaps reconciliation or new emotional beginnings in an already established relationship. And you have exciting new beginnings with the Ace of Wands, because you have both these aces here. The Ace of Wands would be new beginnings which you're very passionate, excited, enthusiastic about. Maybe artistic, creative endeavors or career as well. Some of you, this is going to resonate in the relationship area of your life. Some of you, it may be in something else that you're building or creating in your life. Wands, the energy of Wands can sometimes manifest in the artistic or creative endeavors, projects, career, because Wands is fire energy, which is all the energy of building, creating, and manifesting. You also have an abundance of Sword energy, which is internal psychological energy. It's all about how we think, what our belief systems are, what our perspective, our outlooks are, what we think about things, and how that affects the way that we relate and communicate with everything outside of ourselves, people, and the world at large. So for the month of February, the focus, your overall energy is the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is that exciting new beginnings. It's about building and growing and manifesting something new, or having the opportunity to do that. And the Ace of Wands is a card often represents communication. It can sometimes represent travel. It can sometimes represent information or news communication that's on its way but hasn't arrived yet. So for those of you who are waiting for communications on a new start or the opportunity for a new beginning, it will be coming in the month of February. I'm recording these in the last few days of January. The Eight of Wands is powerful communication, passionate communication. In the upright position, it does imply that it's positive communication, but I kind of get the feeling too that for those of you I feel like so general readings can often be tricky. They can often be more difficult than personal readings, because personal readings, you're focused on one person, you know what the subject matter is. You only have to kind of concentrate and focus on interpreting and channeling for that individual and receiving messages for that one individual. In general readings, there's so many of you following, it's about interpreting for a wide variety of unknown people. So some of you, this is going to be about a new project or a new endeavor that you're trying to build, and it's not just trying to build that. Some of you are trying to work towards a place of being more independent and self-sufficient and empowered and prosperous, which is the Nine of Pentacles. It can be a card that represents doing it on your own, because this woman, everything that she's enjoying, which we begin the month with, everything that she's enjoying, she's worked for herself. Everything that she's surrounded by, which she's enjoying, implies a sense of abundance, prosperity, being at a place in her life where she feels very good, very strong, very independent. She doesn't need anybody else. If she wants to be with somebody else, she can, but she doesn't do it out of a sense of need, because she can take care of herself. She's worked hard to be able to do so, and she's enjoying the fruits of her labors. So it's a card about being independent, not being self-reliant, and really enjoying that place, being at a place in life where you love who you are, where you're going, how hard you've worked to get there, and enjoying that that energy in your life. And it's accompanied by the Three of Wands, which is a card about the future. All the cards in the tarot have an organic flow to them. So the card that would have preceded this, the Two of Wands, shows a man standing at a crossroads, and he's trying to decide which path to choose. And it's about choosing a long-term goal. To know the right path, you have to know what your ultimate destination or your big vision, your dream, what you're hoping to achieve. And that's how you choose the path. And so in the Three of Wands here, you've already chosen that you know what your long-term vision, your goal is, what you're working for, what you're hoping to achieve. And the Three of Wands is about laying the groundwork, the baby steps, laying the groundwork for it, putting everything you can into the initial start of something, and then waiting to see what the outcome is going to be. It's a card that has a focus also on a long-term vision and goal, something that you're hoping to build. So for some of you, this new beginning energy that has such a strong focus and communication around it for the month of February, has to do with working towards getting to a place where you're not dependent on anybody, you're not relying on anybody, where you have, you know, independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment, a sense of abundance and prosperity. Excuse me. And a strong sense of self-confidence because of that, and self-awareness because of that, because you're working towards building that vision, that dream, that goal. I feel, so for some of you, I feel like the focus for you is just in something to do with job, work, career, or projects of some kind. For others of you, this could just be in the relationship arena of your life. You may be thinking, you may be kind of caught up in or conflicted between, you know, maintaining a single life or a life that allows you to remain more independent, perhaps. You may have the opportunity to, maybe you meet someone in February 2018, you know, we have the Ace of Cups, which can represent new love and romance, although it's accompanied by a feeling of feeling trapped or held hostage. I feel like there's some kind of struggle here, Libra, between going for something that you really, there's a struggle between moving towards starting something new in your life. Regardless of what area of your life this is going to resonate in, there's this opportunity or strong desire to start something new, to have this new beginning, and there's a sense of passion and emotion about it, but there's this conflict, and it could be with another individual, where you feel kind of held back from it somehow, or conflicted about it. I got from the beginning this strong kind of story, which may only resonate for a few of you, but you're wanting to do something in your life, or start something new, or go down the road in a way that's something that you believe in, that's for yourself, that will lead you towards a sense of confidence and self-awareness, empowerment, and abundance and prosperity, perhaps even in a financial monetary sense. But maybe you're with a partner who's, maybe you've been reliant or dependent on that partner, and your desire to work towards this dream has your partner, the other person, feeling maybe scared, or, you know, like, well, if she or he, you know, takes this road and becomes more empowered, then she won't need me, and i.e. she'll leave me. Kind of that situation is kind of what I'm feeling. There's this conflict, this struggle between, you know, and some of you may have even had an ultimatum, or given an ultimatum, you know, that, okay, if you go off and do this, then we're done, we're over, we're through. It's kind of this ultimatum energy, particularly in a relationship, and that feels very specific for some of you. So this reading may be for two different sets of Libras. For some of you, it may not involve your relationship at all, but I do feel like however this resonates, and the specifics and details will vary, the energy remains the same. There's some conflict, something holding you back, or threatening to hold you back from having a new beginning, starting something new. And I think for a lot of you, that struggle is against or with someone else, another specific person, because we also have the Three of Swords and the King of Wands. And if you follow this chronologically, it would be around the second week or so of February, although general reading, it's going to, you know, fluctuate either way. The Three of Swords is a card of, it can be heartbreak, heartache, breakup, deep emotional pain, or a deep sense of disappointment. In relationships, it can sometimes represent heartache or emotional pain, or even breakups because of infidelity or cheating, because there's a triangular energy to these swords. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that specifically. It can just mean heartache, emotional pain, deep emotional pain. And it's accompanied by and clarified by the King of Wands, which can represent a fire sign individual. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising is showing up as a male, but in a general reading could also be a female, or a male characteristic, a masculine characteristic that's coming out in someone in regards to this subject, this new beginning. And again, I feel like some of you, like you're wanting to, you know, it almost feels like some version of someone's been reliant and dependent on somebody else, or maybe they've been like the stay-at-home person while the other person's been the work person, and they feel like it's now time for them to go out and pursue their dream, which has their partner feeling very threatened and maybe even issuing an ultimatum that's causing some kind of conflict. If it doesn't have anything to do with your relationship and it's just in work, job, and career, it could be no, I'm still feeling that there's a relationship conflict in there somewhere, even if it's just a work relationship. But there's a lot of passion and emotional energy here, so it's very connected, whatever that is. It's like you're at odds with your significant other, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or a significant relationship of some other kind, because you're wanting to do something towards your own independence and long-term vision and dream you have for your own self. Because you're struggling for this new beginning. And it could be purely relationship. You know, maybe your relationship has gone through some rocky times. Maybe you're considering breaking up or have broken up recently. Perhaps you're considering a reconciliation, or you're trying to. There's a lot of communication over February that's very impassioned and emotional. But you feel kind of held hostage or chained somehow in this new beginning, or the potential for this new beginning, because next to it we have the Ace of Cups and the Eight of Swords. The Ace of Cups, it's another new beginning. It's emotional in nature, the heart opening up again. It could be reconciliation or having a renewal within an already established relationship, or new love and romance as well. But it's paired with the Eight of Swords, which represents feeling held hostage by something, powerless to make a change or to take charge or control of your own life. But it's somewhat illusionary. Swords is internal psychological energy. So whatever it is that you feel is holding you back or leaving you unable to make choices and decisions for yourself, that's only your perspective that's keeping you there. Nobody's forcing her down on her knees, keeping her there. The chains that are wrapped around her wrists, her arms, they're not connected to anything or anybody. The reality is that she could free herself quite easily, rip the blindfold off, stand up on her own 2 feet, realize the situation she's in. She can just leave and walk through. At a cost, of course. Everything comes at a cost. But there's a sense of feeling held back and held hostage, maybe out of duty or obligation. Could be that some of you may be meeting somebody new, but you're still tied up in heartbreak or emotional pain, or still entangled in a relationship with someone else. Yeah, again, I'm getting a feeling I'm reading first a few different sets of Libra, so it'll be interesting to see what the feedback is on this. The fundamental conflict is new beginnings, opportunities for new beginnings, feeling like you can't quite start them, or feeling held back from starting them, or feeling like they're threatened somehow, and being in the midst of that and trying to figure out what to do. Lots of impassioned emotional communication, which we really have a lot of at the end of the month. We have 2 Knights. Knights are very spontaneous and impulsive, so they're known for moving very quickly. We have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands, more fire and air energy, charging in really fast. The Knight of Swords is, you know, speaking, being very direct, very right to the point, very clear, sometimes almost blunt in the way that he delivers communication, news, information. The Knight of Wands, very fiery, you know, coming in really quickly. Knights often represent offers and opportunities coming in, and quite quickly. It's like at the end of the month, there's a lot of movement very quickly, and I'm feeling a lot of, again, impassioned communication, especially towards the end of the month. Around this whole subject. So when I'm actually going to do something I don't do very often, because I'm not getting as much clear advice here, except to caution you about your communication during the month. There's a lot of emotional energy, a lot of passion, and a lot of fire and air energy here. So watch your communication, because heated communication, you know, it's always kind of tricky. It's about making the effort to try and step back from some of the stronger emotions, so that you can make sure to communicate very clearly, honestly, directly, openly, and not be too spontaneous or impulsive, particularly towards the end of the month. So I'm going to pull an extra advice card overall in looking at this situation to see what the foundation advice, the most important advice and guidance over February will be for you, Libra. Justice in the upright, truth, honesty, directness, holding to what you feel is right and true and honest for yourself, your sense of personal honor and integrity, what you know to be true. I'm looking at a few others here. The Four of Swords is taking a temporary step back from conflict, withdrawing from conflict because you feel tired, worn out, exhausted. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. More energy along the same lines. The Six of Swords, moving out of troubled, turbulent, chaotic times into quieter, more peaceful, balanced times. So I feel like in terms of overall guidance and advice, particularly at the end of the month, since there's a lot of heated emotions here and communication, ultimately Spirit wants you to justice in the upright. You know, justice can represent lots of things, but as advice, it's be honest, be clear. What you put into this is what you're going to get out of it. So it's about sticking to your own sense of sticking to upholding the highest level of honor and integrity and honestness that you can, holding to your truth. Energy about pulling back, maybe disengaging a bit, letting the emotions calm down, seeking some insight, maybe resting a little bit, getting some quiet time, getting your thoughts in order, removing yourself a little bit from, you know, the heat of all these emotions and this passionate communication in order to make a decision. I feel like a decision definitely needs to be made, because it's like there's opportunities, but you feel held back, regardless of how the details play out. In the end, I think you're going to have to hold to whatever you feel is right for you and good for you. But make sure to uphold the highest sense of honor and integrity in doing that, particularly with your communications. Take some time out. I don't feel like February should be the month where you make a specific decision unless you absolutely have to, and if you do, you have to follow what you feel is best for you. But take some time out to consider this, and maybe actually physically remove yourself from the obvious conflict. Get some quiet time so you can get a different perspective. Interesting reading, very powerful, very lots of fire. So Libra, that pretty much wraps up your February 2018 general reading. I hope that you have found it helpful, that at least maybe validated some of what you're already thinking or feeling. Again, if any of you would like a more personal one-on-one reading, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that About button for more information and details. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. And for those of you who are looking for quicker contacts for just very fast answers to some quick questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app InstantGo. And all of that information is you can click on the About button to get, or just look at the description of all the videos I post. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the mid-month readings. And until then, Libra, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care. Bye-bye.